Hello there, how are you? Lirin Haddock here with another edition of Worth the Buy here on Bearded Budget Media. This week we're looking at a more recent entry into the library that is cinema. A film written by a legend in Armando Iannucci, based on historical events and delightfully dark. So let's prepare a funeral, send a note in a recording and put some names on lists. And let's dive into the Death of Stalin. Even with it being based on historical events, although with it being a fictional work the timeline is a bit jumbled, I aim not to spoil the ending if you haven't seen it or can't remember as it was so long ago since you watched it. The film starts in the final days of Stalin, showing how he was and the control he had over the committee members of the Soviet state. During the night, whilst he's alone, he has a cerebral hemorrhage, leaving him on death's door. What then follows is the politicking and manoeuvring in the truest sense, as happens when a power vacuum opens up anywhere. So where do I even start with this film properly? I mean, the writing is absolutely fantastic, the historical facts and events, although condensed into a palatable film-length time frame without multiple title cards saying,
"Tomorrow, 6.5 hours later, 3:28 a.m.
Weird fact, as I'm writing this script, it's 103 years to the day since Stalin was appointed the head of the Communist Party. It does feel that if Iannucci didn't get the funding for the film, that he could have turned it into a multi-season TV show and spread it out over a couple of years. I'm going to raise this now before bringing up the cast. Accents. Some people complained at the lack of any Russian accents, but it's something that in most films, whether it's Hunt for the Red October, K-19 The Widowmaker, Hannah, Schindler's List, among others that were based in another country, but everyone is speaking English. The idea is that everyone who is speaking their natural language, but as the watchers, we understand what's being said. The average audience doesn't want to sit there reading subtitles. The other side of the coin, particularly in this film, is the Soviet Union was vast, as in super vast. So, your accents, you're going to have different ones from different regions. Considering the UK, you can't drive, 20 or 40 minutes away from anywhere without having a different accent. So, having everyone use their natural accent actually implies on the vastness of the Soviet Union.
What are people's thoughts on getting a bad doctor?
What the fuck are you talking about? That's mad. What if he recovers and finds out? Well, if he recovers, then we got a good doctor.
Please like, comment, share and subscribe for more content from Bearded Budget Media, and help spread the love for both underrated and often forgotten gems. Okay, so the cast. The cast are an ensemble of fantastic character actors and stars of screen and stage. So this is a strange one to try and break down when it comes to the cast. Reason being that even what would be considered a minor role within the film is often filled with quite a big name actor. Separating it into just the main cast and supporting players like I do normally just doesn't really seem to do it justice, so in my own weird little way, here we go. Our two main players within this film are amazing choices. First is Steve Buscemi playing Nikita Khrushchev. Now, I'm someone who's loved Buscemi since my first introduction to him with Reservoir Dogs, Fargo and Con Air, as shown to be by my cousin as must-watch films as a teenager, and once again, he is on form and a delight to watch throughout.
Our actual general secretary is lying in a puddle of indignity. I think he's saying, get me a doctor now.
No, I don't agree. I think we should wait until we're quartered.
Quartered? The room is only 75% conscious.
To counteract Steve Buscemi, we have Simon Russell Beale playing the truly despicable human being that was Lavrenti Beria, head of the NKVD. Now, something that always impresses me about actors portraying real people who were vile human beings, he sells it. You dislike Beria pretty much from the beginning, and it's not just the writing that causes that. Beale's performance is what brings that to life.
The location of all the remaining doctors in the Moscow area, a proven desire to survive, and a talent for fellatio.
For me, these two are our main characters to follow, even though Malenkov, who we'll get to in a moment, even though he's named as successor to Stalin, it is both Beria and Khrushchev who are the focal points of the film. The trigger of the entire film is Joseph Stalin, played with an ominous Cockney delight by Adrian McLaughlin, star of screen but mainly stage.
What took you so long? You fucking walk here?
His children caught up in the politicking being Svetlana, played with a beautiful naivety by Andrea Risborough,
On second opinion, I don't trust these creatures to... I mean, how old are you?
I'm 29.
That's a lie. How old are you? You look dead.
his son Vasily, who is a close second to being my favourite character in this film. He's played by Rupert Friend, who recently was the live-action Grand Inquisitor in the Obi-Wan series. It also tickles me that last week I covered Hitman, and he ended up playing 47 in the reboot a few years later. And he's not the only Hitman Universe cast member in this film.
You're dividing the spoils. Leave his brain alone. How old are you?
I'm old.
You're not old. You're not even a person. You're a testicle. You're made mostly of hair. Play through. Ignore me. Get it. Give it. Hit it.
Okay, so we've covered our two main players, Stalin and his family. It's time to go a bit deeper, as it is truly an incredible ensemble cast. The Committee of the Soviet Union is made up of amazing actors, from Jeffrey Tambor as Georgy Malenkov, deputy to Stalin and successor in the immediate aftermath.
Are you wearing a corset?
It's a girdle. I have a bad back. It's functional, it's not cosmetic.
The comedic legend and BBC holiday taker, travel journo, Michael Palin as Vyacheslav Molotov, who was Foreign Secretary or became Foreign Secretary.
Do you want me to hold back your hair? Polina always used to do that for me.
Another British comedy legend in Paul Whitehouse as Anastas Mikoyan, Minister for Trade.
Oh, fucking pollen. They should make gas bombs out of the stuff.
Paul Shahidi as Nikolai Bulganin, Minister of Defence, and may be recognisable to people as Sandalphon from Good Omens.
Get back to the kitchen now.
Dermot Crowley as Lazar Kaganovich, Minister for Labour. You may recognise him as Rebel General Crix Maydeen, who gave the mission briefing in Return of the Jedi.
Out of my way, you fannies.
Then we have smaller roles, but in no means played by smaller actors. Without the luscious locks of Lucius Malfoy on his head, Jason Isaacs steals the show as my favourite character in the film, playing Field Marshal Georgy Zhukov, head of the Soviet army, and played with such aplomb by Isaacs.
I'm going to have to report this conversation. Threatening to do harm or obstruct any member of the Presidium in the process of looking at your fucking face. Nikita Khrushchev, you balls like Kremlin domes, right?
Stop. Be serious. Are you in?
Did Coco Chanel take a shit on your head?
Vasily Stalin's assistant, Anatoly Tarasov, who's always alongside him, played by Richard Brake. And he came on screen and I saw his face and I recognised him. It took me a minute, but then it hit me. He's in probably the greatest scene of the Disney-era Star Wars. He's the officer that Bill Burr's Mayfield kills in such a dramatic scene in The Mandalorian show. Director of Radio Moscow, Yuri Andreev, is played by the legend who was cheated out of an Emmy, come fight me, Paddy Considine.
Take your seats, that's it. Nobody be alarmed, it's fine. Sit down! Do not defy me! Sit your asses down!
There's a few times that he does come across very King Viserys-y at times, and it's great.
You see, take your fucking seats, take your seats. Don't worry, nobody's gonna get killed, I promise you. This is just a musical emergency.
Olga Kurylenko, yes, a beautiful lady from Hitman, is here playing pianist Maria Yudina. Once again, Olga is stunning and plays her role with such fire.
As God is my witness, I won't do it. The Lord will see me through.
10,000 rubles.
20,000.
I'm not surprised of the fire that she has in this film, having read about Olga's life and her being born in Soviet-era Ukraine. She would have been around 11 or 12 when the Soviet Union collapsed. I mean, don't get me wrong, following de-Stalinization, I don't know how Stalin was taught during her schooling, because he was still a pivotal part for a long time of the Soviet Union. On top of the fact that Sergei Malakovich of the St. Petersburg Communist Party, a splinter group separate from the main parliamentary Communist Party of the Russian Federation, he penned an open letter in 2008 when she was in Quantum of Solace, stating, "In the name of all communists, we appeal to you, prodigal daughter of poor Ukraine and deserter of the Slavic world. The Soviet Union gave you free education, free medical care, but nobody knew you would commit an act of intellectual and moral betrayal and become a movie girl of Bond, who in his movies kills hundreds of Soviet people and citizens of other socialist countries." I wonder what he may have thought about her doing this.
Should we investigate? Should you shut the fuck up before you get us both killed?
I just want to say a huge thank you to people who've been subscribing and commenting. Matty HP, Popey Made This, Brandon Morris 1991, Michelle Serrano 7600, Annihilation 4D. I know I've missed some, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone. So there we have it. Another worth the buy here on Bearded Budget Media. This one currently is streaming at a few places, including BBC iPlayer in the UK. Even so, this is a film that is definitely worth owning a physical disc for. I've been Lyrin Haddock. Catch you next time.
When we play Hungary, are we allowed to use guns?
Come on, General, these are the best I can find since the plane crash.
What plane crash? There was never a plane crash. Was there a plane crash? Soviet planes do not crash, and Stalin's son does not fuck up.
Right, well, that's me told. I'm off to represent the entire Red Army at the buffet. You girls enjoy yourself.